Do it. Hello, my sweet lady.
Hello, Mama.
It's me
We are
and you.
we are so ready. Oh my gosh. Yeah. What a topic. Ooh, please like if you do, subscribe and make a comment. Let us know where are you tuning in from?
Mhm,
What do you want more of? And
mhm.
what do you think about this topic? And if you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer them as we go along.
Yes,
It's so important to be acknowledged.
we are going to talk about guilt today, right? The emotion of guilt. Isabel is ready. She's been in her library of wisdom, downloading so much stuff for you today.
Oh, yeah. Poor Cory. He's like, all that, and I'm like, video this, that, script the other thing. Oh, yeah. And I will look once in a while so I don't miss anything.
Yeah, that's right. You've got your list, and that's beautiful. I want to ask, because we were just connecting before we started today, and Isabel told me something that I'd not heard of before, connected to guilt. We're going to go into all different sorts of um, just wisdom and knowledge about guilt, that particular emotion, how it affects your personality, your physical body, your mental state. And also, we're going to share some tools and tips maybe on how we can work with guilt, right? Because we're both
Yeah.
experts. And we know our stuff when it comes to guilt because we're human and we've
And
had
because we experienced many years of it.
But Isabel just told me that guilt, you feel guilt, addicts feel guilt when they stop their addiction. Can you explain what you were talking about?
Well, working with that, 'cause I did have many years of working with crack addicts and coke addicts and whatever addicts, because basically they're all the same road to that. And I realized through a wonderful guy that I love, Gabor Mate, and a couple other modalities, the fact that leaving the drug, leaving the alcohol, leaving any of those addictions creates the guilt more realistic because
Mhm.
now you are, you're not high, you're not checked out, you're not avoiding something, you're not changing your state, right?
Yes.
It's like, oh, wow. Because when you are in that state, it's a checked out state.
Yeah.
So the guilt puts them right back on because they feel that in their normal state or whatever state, I mean, I don't know what normal is.
Mm.
It's like, wow, you did this, you did that, you accomplished, no, did whatever our story in there. So let's get high again so we don't have to be guilty. And I thought, oh, wow, that's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That I think that now I understand what you mean. I was like that when I used to drink. I used to feel really bad the next day, not only physically, but emotionally and mentally. I felt like I'd let myself down again. I'd let my family down again.
Yeah.
And then that feeling was just too much to bear. So as soon as it got to drink o'clock time, I would start all over again.
Yeah. And that's it because the brain want to keep us safe.
Yeah.
The number one thing that the brain does, and you and I, we studied it for so many years, is
Mhm.
to keep us safe. And keeping us safe means being in the same comfort zone and in the same place that is known.
Mhm.
That's a like unknown.
Mhm.
So what I do myself for myself is I push myself to be out of that comfort zone
Mhm.
and to rewire that brain when the guilt comes up. I go, is this from me or is this something I learned Or is this something that I used to go to, but no longer serves? And I
Yeah.
do a little reflection, and it always gets me the answer.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, when you went to school one time and you failed that test, or you went to the prom and other little girls or other girls were looking better, or you didn't get a date per se. And it's like, it must be because I'm too short, I'm too this, I'm too that, because I'm not likable. Guilt. That story that we give ourselves and an
Mm-hmm.
average all the time, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
You and I grew up with mothers that they're really good at the guilt.
Mm. You
And
know, do you think that the guilt is, let me ask you this question, from all the modalities as a therapist and different things that you do, if you have people that come to you that's suffering with guilt, how do you spot it? Because I know
well,
me and you work similar, but we also work very different in ways. Like, what do
yeah,
you see? What do you think that you go, okay, this person's working with guilt here. What can we do to,
sure. One of the examples is procrastination.
very true.
Because they procrastinate in case they do something wrong, or
Mhm.
they remember something that according to them failed, or they were told that they were not good enough, or that story plays in procrastination, in self-loathing, in victimizing, in non-manifesting, by the way.
Yeah.
Why would somebody that is not good is going to manifest?
Hmm.
Those are empty words when we say it. And Flores Kovalchin, one of the many people, but the one that I follow the most in the game of life and how to play it, the word is the wine. And the word is the one doesn't just come from your head, what you tell yourself all day long.
Yeah.
It's how we speak. Ooh, I don't think that's kind of hard to do. And that comes from guilt.
Hmm.
Because if we do it and it's easy, maybe it's not good enough.
Hmm.
Or we can fail. Or somebody told, whatever the story that we tell ourselves,
Mm. Hmm.
you know. It's
Hmm.
a fantastic book by Maritza Peer called Tell Yourself a Better Lie.
Oh, yeah. That sounds cool.
Okay. Yeah. And lying and guilt
Yeah.
are very close together, right?
Yeah, the story that we tell ourselves, whatever it is, that internal language that we tell ourselves has different emotions connected to it, right? So, you could have many different stories. And if guilt is one of them, in my practice, normally if someone comes in and they're suffering with feeling guilty, it's like, you know, I'm a big feeler as far as like energy in the body. I'm a big feeler. I like to feel energy in the body. And I know that you're very empathic too. You can tell
Mm.
and feel in your clients what's going on.
Yeah.
But guilt feels like you're hiding. Guilt makes you feel really heavy and small.
Yeah.
And I think when you feel heavy or you feel small and you feel like you have something to hide from the world because the guilt emotion is kind of running through you, then why would you expect good things, right?
Right.
Why would you
Right.
expect, like you said, how could you manifest? Why would you expect anything good if you're hiding? You're in a constant state of fight or flight.
Yeah.
It, like you said, creates procrastination. It creates a withdrawal because people are scared of being seen in a sense, because if you see me, you might see what's wrong with me. So I have to hide that thing that I'm guilty of, I'm shamed of, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we perceive past mistakes as being wrong. And the beauty of mistakes, I like challenges because I like diversity and I don't like to be in the same thing all the time.
Mm,
Some people like certainty, and we're going to do a podcast about the six human needs,
yeah.
and the first one is certainty. And we all like certainty. We all like, to have a home, to know that we have food, that our car works. It's so many certainty pieces. Now, for me, I work better in uncertain
Mm,
because I like variety.
right.
Certainty is too certain for me. So variety. So when things happen, I reinvent really quick. And I have to because I have to survive since I was a little kid.
So that's a known behavior for you. That's comfortable.
And that is my to go to.
Yeah.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it a lot because I'm like in a playground.
Ah,
You see?
yes, I do. I'm thinking of putting myself in that position, and that sounds terribly scary to me. I like change like you, but the certainty is what allows me to play in the change.
Okay. So right. So when we are in that place, it's we get attached to the outcome.
Yes, very controlling.
The outcome is never certain, so we guarantee ourselves some suffering there.
Totally. Yeah, you're
Mm,
right. That's
mm.
the story.
But
Put it in a box and completely control it, but then have fun and pretend that I'm like all loosey-goosey and I'm free, but really I'm like,
right, that is a normal survivor skill,
yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah.
But we set ourselves for that disappointment, and that disappointment creates guilt because we said, "Oh, maybe I should have gone for it no matter what," or maybe things changed and I didn't catch that. Ooh, I failed on that.
Mm,
So, rolling with whatever it is easier in so many levels. It's no guilt. We grow. We understand new ways,
mm,
you know,
mm-hmm.
and we avoid that guilt causing thing again.
That's
And
so
what
true.
parts do you think you want certainty?
That's it. You see, I'm just thinking about that. Going through that year of anxiety really kind of shook that part of me up. So I feel like I'm pulling from a part of me that's in the past while I'm talking about it, because I don't think it's necessarily all me right now. Because
Yeah.
I think when you've been through something big, it changes you, right?
Yeah, or we change the world around us.
Yeah.
It's
And
different, right? If
yeah,
you see that in that matter, my world changed around me.
yeah,
So it's no personal devastation, it's no personal failure, it's no personal luck, it's no personal event. It happened because of the world changed.
right.
It's a different perspective than saying I was in it.
Yes, very
That
true.
feels different for you
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
because it ran its course, because it didn't match you anymore. And that's one thing I tell my clients. So when you change, your world around you will change.
Yeah, very true.
Okay. And when that changes, right, uh, all the circumstances change
Mm-hmm.
because the feeling creates a thought. The thought creates an action, and that action creates the result. So
Exactly.
when
Yeah. Yeah.
by circumstances or whatever out of our hands or the duality of this planet, boom, the rug gets pulled from underneath us. We have no choice but to enter that change, figure a new way how to, you know, I call it the stairway to heaven or build that different way. to escalate to another level. And that world doesn't look the same to us anymore.
No.
So if we see it as that world being changed there, because it's going to happen, it's inevitable in the duality of planet that we live in.
Yeah.
And for our own growth and evolution, the take is different. There's no guilt in that. It's empowering.
Mm-hmm.
Mm?
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like the difference between the word should and could is connected to guilt? I do.
Huge,
I do too.
huge. Because I tell many people, I said, if you were to deposit that I should have or that I am wrong, you're a multi-billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you say that a day to yourself
Yeah.
or to anybody else? If you deposit those, you're the richest person in the planet.
Yeah, exactly. How many of us are out there shoulding all day? I should
Oh,
do
yeah,
this.
oh, I could have.
Yes,
And
exactly.
and my question is, why didn't you? And that's when the answer comes out. And 90% of the time has guilt, which affects the sense of self worth, the
Mm-hmm.
sense of love,
Yep.
the sense of commitment to yourself and others, the sense of evolution and growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's got so many consequences.
Right.
So many.
It creates people pleasers.
Yeah,
It's like you don't have the ability to say no as easily when you're riddled with guilt because you don't feel like a good enough person to allow yourself to say no,
there you go.
right? It's really,
Boundaries go boop.
yeah, boundaries, procrastination, self-worth, people
Right.
pleasing. There's so many biggies in there when it comes to therapy that's connected to guilt.
Yeah, yeah, and unmet expectations, which we create all day, all day.
Yeah.
Because if we are in the phone and we like see a bunch of post things coming in and all that, the guilt goes on. Oh my God, I need to get those done. So we abandon something else. And the chain continues with that.
Mm-hmm.
The unmet expectations from ourselves. We get up in the morning and we run from 1 to 600 right away. I need to do this. I need to do. We don't need to nothing. We want to do something.
Yeah.
We feel that passion that the planet stops when we're doing something. I'm looking forward to start my, you know, beautiful arts and crafts with you and do my arts and craft for Christmas. And I'm going to send everybody my, something like I do. That is no longer time lost for me. And also, when we are in that place, they should have, could have, I didn't, why, what happened? I'm to this, I'm not to that. The comparison, right?
Mm-hmm.
The self criticism.
Which makes me feel like it's also connected to perfectionism,
Mm.
right?
Yeah,
All of us, I've had all of these. List them, I've had them. In my life experience, I feel like I've been through all of them. I went through
yeah,
quite a few intense years of being a perfectionist, feeling like if I wasn't on top of my game with everything, then I wasn't worthy, you know? And if I
right,
wasn't busy, we've talked about this, me and you. Like, if we're not busy, then what value are we to the earth? What value are we to the world?
right.
That's guilt, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a huge guilt, and it's a guilt of the social or cultural expectations, right? Create the feeling of guilt if individuals feel they're not meeting their expectations. Now, and we tend, and I have done it. I did it for so long, and now I've been totally close in the ATM about it.
Mm.
That you start attracting and being with people that you feel they're not inferior, but they don't have the qualities that, a challenged person would.
Okay.
Why? Because of that fear pulling us back. What about if we fail? What about if we're not good enough like them?
Right.
So we run around in this circle of people that they're wounded, they're more guilty, that they're more, so many of my peers in therapy, they choose these cases a lot that they feel, oh, I can handle that because I don't identify that I have that guilty part. And a lot of them, especially the new ones, the new
Yeah.
students that they graduate, yeah, they want to tackle the smaller things because they figure, oh, I don't know enough to deal with that state of mind. Oh, I don't know enough to pacify or calm somebody,
Right.
right? Because they felt on themselves. So that's a gauge there.
Right. So there's like a lack of separation, do you think? Do you think it takes a separation?
It's a lack of trust in your own self because of your guilt bag
Hmm.
that you can meet somebody in any state. But with the work that you do and the work that I like doing too, the reflective listening and
Yes.
the fact that you meet them and create this rapport in
Yes.
our work
Yeah.
that makes them feel that no matter what's going on in there,
They have
we can
someone.
meet them and guide them to a place.
Exactly. We can relate. I think it's very important for me in my practice to make the person that is communicating with me feel no less than, no more than. We're just human beings on a journey, right? We're human
Right.
beings on a journey, and I've had my experiences, you've had your experiences, and
Yeah.
luckily from those experiences, then we can share our wisdom from the experience that we had in those experiences. I think it just makes us
Hopefully, right?
even better therapists. But I do remember a
Yeah.
time where I did feel a bit like I was having trouble in my marriage and I was seeing couples with as couples counseling, and I could hear myself sharing the wisdom, try this, do this. And I was having trouble in
Mm.
my own marriage, and I'd been trying this and doing this, and it wasn't working. And I felt a little bit sometimes like an imposter. Like, I,
Right.
so I understand what you mean. Like, how can I guide this couple when I'm having my own issues? But the truth
Right.
is, looking back and reflecting on that, it's kind of like, no, I can guide them because I'm there with them and I can feel it, and
Right.
we can resonate.
Yeah. Yeah.
No?
And in polarity, healing arts, we always said, give a session, get a session. We
Right.
always attract that client that has a piece of unresolved stuff for us, and we can mirror ourselves to it
Mm-hmm.
because we all go through it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care who is what. For the years that I worked with, humongous actors, directors in the show business, I can tell you some of the biggest people had absolutely every single thing more acute and more in depth of all these pieces,
Yeah. Yeah.
the perfectionist person. I used to work with one actress that I adore, and she's a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, she isolated herself in the industry because most of the males, which rule the industry pretty much, now it's better, had an issue because she actually knew what she wanted and she knew what it needed to happen. And they were not about to listen to a woman. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And created a great guilt. Uh, and some guilt is very positive. You know what I mean? Um,
Flip it.
it
Flip it.
also
How do
the
you
the
mean that?
the avoidance of things because of guilt. A lot of people isolate themselves and
Right.
loners, or even go to suicide. Okay, suicide is guilt.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to know about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm guilty for not making this life happen, whatever story. So
Mm-hmm.
I work with a lot of suicide kids from 5 to
Mm-hmm.
13. We're talking about where these children got the guilt that they're not good enough.
Poor baby.
Where is the guilt of, you know, all the television things, all this beautiful this or that, and I don't have it. I'm guilty of not having it. It might be bad. I might not, deserve it. A child wants to kill itself.
Oh my
Are
God.
you kidding me?
Right?
When I interview them, it's all about, well, I'm not good. I'm ugly. I'm short. I don't fit in. That is all guilt.
Yeah. 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 Guilt is it's connected to the I like to work with chakras, but guilt is connected to
Yeah.
the sacral chakra. And
Mm,
the sacral chakra is all about pleasure, not necessarily like anything intimate pleasure, all
mm.
pleasure, And it's like I like to think of it as it's connected to our emotional body. When you go through the chakras and you align them with your seven energy bodies, there's like an interconnection. We can go into this in some other time. I'm not going to it too deep, but
No, but it's really important what you're
no,
saying. Yeah.
it's about
Yeah.
pleasure in this world, and that pleasure is connected to the emotion. So, on a bigger picture
Mm,
of things, that means that from our experience, from an emotional being, we are here to experience all levels of pleasure, like just pleasure
mm,
in the small things, pleasure as
mm.
in the way that we feel, right? And
Sure.
and our sacral chakra is blocked by guilt,
Yeah. And the fear in the third chakra too.
right?
And
Yeah,
in the fourth chakra that you don't want to speak in case you're wrong.
right.
My words are not worth it. So
Yeah.
they isolate themselves. They don't speak the truth. We all do that in so many levels in case we're wrong, right?
Hmm.
Avoiding opportunities, which is huge, or situations for the fear of failure. So
Hmm.
we don't increase in evolution. We don't grow into other realms
Just in
in
case.
case,
Yeah. In
you
case
know?
yeah, we're not good enough.
Yeah, pushing other away or struggling to form healthy connection due to the feelings of guilt and shame. Uh, Decreasing the self-esteem, that's for sure, all day long. Negative talk, right?
Yeah.
Self-blame.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, increased stress and anxiety.
And
Because,
depression.
yeah, the stress and anxiety, which creates high levels of cortisol, and people, eat through guilt, and I know that for a fact. And bulimia is totally guilty.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
And I worked with a wonderful young actress since she was 11, and she was deadly bulimian.
Oh,
An amazing actor. But, and that's the key to have self awareness, mindfulness.
yeah.
When these bubbles come up,
Yeah, I'm glad you
mm,
said that. Yeah, because my mind is already going to, okay, so if we have guilt in our life, what do we do about it? Like normally when a client comes in with me and we have guilt, it's like, okay, you're in a safe place. Let's create a safe place where you know that you're loved, you know that you're safe, you know that you're cared for. Like let's put the ego and the left brain in a nice, comfortable place so that we can somehow make a list of everything that we feel guilty about. No matter how big or small, like make a list, I think is the first step of acknowledgement of what it
mm,
is that you feel guilty about. Maybe sometimes people don't even know. Sometimes it's very subconscious, isn't it?
totally. My thing is that I always ask them first what guilt means to them because it's different for everybody.
Ah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I always said, so, oh, where do you find the word guilt? And they're like, well, and they come up with whatever the source was.
Yes.
And what was that referring to? Well, that I didn't do this, that, and that. And I said, well, everybody has their own take on what needed to happen in that place. So maybe that was for your teacher,
Mm-hmm.
that she or he thought
Mm-hmm.
that that needed to look like that. But what is it that that looked like to you? And they're like, oh, okay. When you give them the place to be them in that instance, and you have already made them aware that it could have come from another source, it's a little better disassociation. So they usually go, well, no, I will do it like this and that. And I said, do you think that your teacher should be guilty for not doing it your way? Most of the time, no, they can do whatever they want. And I said, exactly. And so can you,
Yeah.
because that came from the way they think, the way they've been living, and it's passed down to them from that experience.
Yeah.
But now I want you to come from the place of your own experience and feelings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they own a different place
Yeah, exactly.
for
Yeah.
the guilt.
Yeah.
And then I say, is that a word somebody created? Because that label may not pretend to this story. Maybe instead of guilt, we can say it's many ways to do something and
Mm.
what you need. How did that feels like for you? And they usually like, oh, I like that.
Yeah,
You
right.
give them the power back.
Yeah,
Right.
you're allowing them to, we would call it in hypnotherapy, rescript. You're allowing them to rescript it so that
Mm,
it doesn't have to have all the layers of emotion that they've put on it,
right.
or someone else has put on it, and then they've taken that on.
And
Yeah.
creates compassion for the person that did it, whatever to with them.
Yeah, because you can see that that's just their perspective, right?
Right, right. It's a compassion thing. That's a really huge place, an antidote for guilt.
Yeah.
Having compassion for yourself,
Hmm.
having compassion for other circumstances,
Hmm.
that you know what? We all develop and process things in a different way.
Hmm.
And this person expected that. And let's think, who knows where they come from with that? Could
Hmm.
have been a very strict school, could have been a religious belief, could have been a moment that somebody taught them something, a system per se in a school,
Yeah.
or passed on things. And if you see it that, oh, wow, they're in a suffering mode for
Hmm.
themselves,
Hmm.
if you put yourself in a compassion state, and you said, wow, it's a lot of suffering with this person.
Yeah.
I don't like it, how it feels for me, but now I see I have a choice because that's not mine.
Right.
And it's a disassociation there
Yeah.
and cutting that chain.
Yeah, it's about allowing them, like the second stage of having the list for me would be, okay, now we have this list. Let's look at each one of them. Let's go into gaining some kind of compassion or understanding and a different perspective on
Yeah.
each one of those things can be really healing.
Right.
Because well, you wouldn't be surprised, but most people would be surprised how much guilt they're carrying around for things that they did when they were 5 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, when they were a child,
Even a tiny baby that they said, oh
right?
no, I have to change your diaper again. Wow, this kid cries too much.
Yeah, yeah,
And you
exactly.
hearing that because the subconscious mind doesn't have age.
No.
So this little tiny baby is like, oh, annoying. Oh, I shouldn't call for my food. Or they learn that every time they make a sound or cry, they get fed. So they create this comfort zone for the rest of their life, that to be able to be at peace in many levels with my nervous system, I need to eat
Yeah.
or have something in my mouth. So it's great to explore and understand the emotions and behavior, recognizing patterns of self-sabotage and guilt can be a powerful step towards healing and growth. Now, guilt creates full sabotage. People said, oh, I'm going to do this, that, and that. Saboteur comes in and he goes, no, because you have messed up one too many times. And so you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
So let's screw this one up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's super important, and it stunts the growth and the evolution.
Definitely. And I think that, and what's interesting while you're talking, I'm hearing now that everything interconnects because the root chakra with the fear is connected when you're in a place of, okay, I'm going to go for it. And then, you have the guilt from your sacral chakra, which is like, no, because no, you're not good enough for this because you're a bad girl or you're a bad
Right.
boy. But then
Right.
the fear at the root of us is like, okay, I don't even feel safe. I daren't step
And,
out of my comfort zone.
right.
It's all connected.
The
So,
non-safe, the first six, human need, certainty. It threatens certainty. It becomes from not really knowing that the second human need is variety and change.
mhm.
Because if we are in an uncertain place and if we make that mistake, if you think about it, the gentleman that created the light bulb fails thousands and thousands and thousands of times.
Yeah,
If we don't change something in there, finally he found a way to create the light bulb.
yeah,
And Einstein said very clear, and it changes the way you see things. It changes the way you approach them. It changes the way you feel about this non-guilt thing or whatever. And also, Einstein said, we cannot resolve a problem with the same mind that created it.
right,
And
exactly.
we cannot do that if we don't go babonk and do
Yeah,
something to
yeah, babonk. We got to go babonk
babonk.
sometimes, right? You ask any entrepreneur actually rises through failure. They rise through their mistakes. They don't let the mistakes stop
Fabulous.
them, right? Mhm.
Fabulous. And the thing is that without them, we are in the same hamster wheel.
Yeah,
And they don't see it as a mistake. They
no,
see it as an opportunity. And I was listening to Warren Buffett and the other gentleman that I mean, they obviously know what the hell they're doing.
yeah,
And they say, we do not study or we do not read success stories. We study and we read failure stories.
yeah.
So we do not,
Make the same mistake, right?
or
Yeah,
at least we learn something to do it in a different way. And I thought that was genius.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was genius. And the mind, the subconscious mind and the mind can change. That's called neuroplasticity. And
hmm,
you're going to put this from the PubMed and all that, some links to all the studies. And that's what neuroplasticity is about, removing and repaving these grooves in our brain that we
exactly.
create over
Hmm,
and over and over and over.
hmm,
And
hmm,
if you tell us 10 beautiful compliments in one self-constructed constructed criticism, that's the one we hold on to it.
hmm. So
That's
true.
why media is so successful, because they make money by the click. So the more guilt, if you don't get sick, don't want to get sick, you need to take this med.
Yeah.
If you don't want to get da da da, you're gonna die. If you don't watch the news, you may get run over by a dragon. I don't know, something.
Yeah, totally right. They totally play on that part of us that
Well, they
doesn't
work
feel
with
good enough.
guilt.
Yeah, the part that doesn't feel good enough is going to buy anything that's going to make us feel better.
You
Right?
don't have one of those? What?
Yeah.
The Kardashians, you don't look like this? No
Mhm.
party. You're not party, you're not accepted, right?
Yeah.
The governments, how do they rule? By fear and guilt. They're best friends. Fear and guilt, best friends,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's a really weird cycle
Mm-hmm.
that we scare ourselves and then we guilt ourselves, carry ourselves. Boom, dum, ding, dum, ding, dum. So,
I mean, from a psychological perspective, if we're put into a mental space where we don't feel good enough, then we're very pliable.
right,
If
right,
we're versus if we're put into a psychological mental state where we're in our
yeah,
power and
right,
everything about us is already perfect and we see who we are and our,
yeah,
our
yeah,
wisdom and our knowledge, then what would we need?
yeah. The
We would.
guilty goes so long, Mama. Even in eating disorders, can play a significant role. For instance, individuals struggling with eating disorders might experience guilt over food choices, eating habits, or body image.
Mm,
If you are concerned about a friend or yourself, here is something to look out for. Changing in eating habits, skipping meals, restrictive eating, or binge eating. Negative body image, critical self talk, body dissatisfaction, or excessive exercise and excessive going to all these
yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the emotional struggles, depression, anxiety, irritability, and anger. Because
Mm,
you're carrying this guilt inside. So it creates this anger about how bad we are, how this we are, how that we are. You
yeah,
know, so
yeah.
practicing self-compassion, recognize your worth in any little thing that you feel good, that you don't feel that anybody else can does it the way you do.
Hmm.
And we get up in the morning in the mirror, oh, I'm to this, I'm to that, or whatever.
Hmm.
And then how many good things do we tell ourselves?
Hmm. Exactly.
How many? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
That's why the book, what would you do without a mirror? It's and that's the internal mirror too,
yeah.
comparing ourselves. And imagine if all the inventors would to compare and live every their life related to what everybody else did. It will be no airplanes, it will be no big boats, it will be no a lot of things, because they came from a place that it was challenging.
Yeah. But they had to have confidence and belief within themselves and a comfortability to be able to do that, don't you think?
No,
No? What do you think?
no,
Like a
they
lack of,
because they're reading so much about their lives, it was persistence and striving and wanted to conquer, not truly believing
yeah.
that they were that they themselves were amazing, but not truly believing that what they love and what they see and what they project didn't have the guilt and didn't have negative quotations for them.
Mm,
Like the Michelangelo said,
yeah.
I see a piece of marble. I chip away to release that angel, that inside of him, he saw an angel and a figure inside that marble. And it
Mm,
was just a piece of marble. But that drive on your vision, if you consider the divine and you have enough belief and enough about it that you're going to do it, that's how I do things.
yes.
It doesn't belong to me.
Right.
It's part of my mission, it's part of my service, and it's part of what they're giving me to share with the planet. So I can't have guilt on that because it's directly divine to me.
Right.
And I watch that when I'm starting to go into like, oh, but what about? I challenge that. I
Mm,
said, what about what? When you have done millions of things, what about what? Where did this what about come from? Is that my what about?
yeah. Is it still true? Is it true? Is it relevant? Is it yours?
Right.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah.
because, like Benjamin Franklin said, I have lived millions of horrible disasters and fears, and some of them actually happened.
Yeah. That sounds so much like me.
You know, how many scenarios? Right,
I think I have like constant, like at least 5 or 6 different realities going on in my day.
right, right.
I think everybody does.
And let's focus that all of us have a strength, something that
Hmm.
we do that we like, and anchor that feeling of something we
Hmm.
do. Oh God, I love nature.
Hmm.
Anchor it. I'm a
Hmm.
nature lover. I have beautiful hair, whatever it is for us, those little bits, and start adding up more of the good ones to our repertoire.
Yeah.
And when the other ones show up because
Yeah.
they're valuable because they're
Yeah.
propellers too.
Exactly. They're showing up for a
You
reason a lot
know,
of the
I,
time, right?
yeah, they are propellers and they are gifts. Like the Dalai Lama said, my secret friends. They
Yeah,
show up and they make us do something different. They
exactly.
make us prove ourselves or whatever, something new. Looking at those more and noticing every day when something comes in, go to the opposite.
Hmm.
Oh, I am too short. Um, Switch the word for petite
Mm. Or,
or
or
more.
yeah, or like flip it completely and what is it that would be a positive about being short? You know, my dad used to say that diamonds don't come as big as house bricks, you know? There's
Right.
there's a positive. There's a positive, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we're talking about everything that you focus on is what you're creating in your reality, the good and the bad. So if we can
Your
focus on the
self
good,
talk. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's interesting because so is that negative positive, because a drop of water can make a hole on steel, and a drop of poison can kill.
Hmm.
So it's two different things. What is the role that we give to our guilt?
Right. Right.
And where it comes from? Is it ours? We borrow it? And if it comes, I usually say, thank you for showing up because I know so positive about this. And now I choose
Yeah.
to put it this way.
Like I always like to say with my clients, and I say it to myself, what am I getting? What am I getting from feeling guilty?
Right.
Because I recognized quite a few years ago that I was in a pattern of like self-flagellation, like about everything I did wrong. I would like seriously take it serious, like as if I was Jesus or somebody. Like I am here to be all good. Jesus is
All of it.
you know what? He's my bestie. So, not from a religious perspective, just like, I am here to be all good. I'm here to serve. And I'm like such a letdown or whatever, you know? I think
And I'm going to be good if it's the last thing I do,
I'll
if
be
I
a
kill
good girl.
myself, my life, my circumstances, and ruin my career. I am going to do it.
And
Right, right.
I could have done it better. I could have been better. Da, 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 you know? And you know what I think I was doing? In a weird psychological way now, when I look back, this sounds crazy, but not allowing myself to get out of the guilt cycle, keeping myself in the guilt, like keeping myself in a victim mode from a guilt perspective, allowed me to be important from a narcissistic perspective. It was like I was saying everything was my fault. I'm I'm to blame. I'm so I'm so important. The life cannot live. This world will not survive without. And I know the word narcissist is kind of overused, but you know, it was
I
like,
know it is the poor narcissist.
poor
Damn it.
narcissists. They have some good traits, you know, those
Oh, the
narcissists.
hell they
They
do.
do.
Also, what other thing that I learned about guilt is that as we do it to ourselves, we do it to our kids, we do it to our teams,
Mm.
we do it all the way around. We drive down the road and we go, "You idiot, how did you get that driver's license in a birthday cake?" We're guilting somebody.
Yes, because we're guilting ourselves all the time. It's just like another form of judgment, right?
Well, right, but that creates guilt, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
On them and us, right? Yeah. And creating guilt also, I remember Tony said one time, creating guilt on other people gives you self significance.
Oh.
Self significance belong in the first human need, which is certainty.
So by making someone else feel guilty, you've accomplished making someone feel something, which therefore gives you some kind of
Superiority.
importance and superiority.
Yeah, superiority.
Oh, wow. So interesting. But the truth is, no one can make us feel anything unless we
Right.
accept and feel it ourselves.
That's when mindfulness and being conscious come in.
Right.
Because if we're not on guard with ourselves that day, and if we don't wake up and say, "I'm grateful for being alive, breathing," whatever it is that you're grateful, yummy, my pillow that is soft, my little bunny, whatever that I super grateful, and I feel the dogs, and I'm like, oh, my husband is there and mellow, whatever, a roof over my head, whatever it is. When we do that, the we don't need that much significance. We start the day in a place where we already accomplish, and that feeling of gratitude and accomplishment erases a lot of guilt because
That's
you
so
can
true.
you can feel guilt when
No,
you're feeling grateful,
yeah, your cup is full, right?
right? So
Yeah.
what is it that is missing? I will say icing on the cake, but I don't like icing. I think it's awful. All that sugar coated color, who knows what kind of poison that is, but people like that. And I'm guilty the ones that they eat the icing.
You just did like a full circle.
You ice eating people. Yes,
You see how easy it is?
I know. See,
It's
I
so
just think
subconscious.
completely, and guess what? I don't feel guilty.
You ca- you caught yourself. And that, my friends, is self-awareness, right?
Boom.
Boom. That's how you do it.
Right. And it wasn't origin where the word guilt come from, but I forgot. Got in between Germans and I'll see. I sent it to you this morning in a text, and I thought, oh, okay, just to see who the hell came up with this.
Ah, yes, you did. That's right. You sent it me. It was located in the German language. It's like orientation is in the German language or something like that. What did it say?
I sent it to you, and I'm gonna
Did.
guilt you for not seeing it. Funny.
If I've turned my phone on to look at it, we're gonna get binged out because, so I'm not
Oh,
gonna do that. But yeah, the origin, the root of the word,
yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah, good tools to resolve self-reflection, identify the source of guilt, and
Right.
acknowledge the feelings.
Acknowledge the
Journaling. I don't really do journals because I don't want people finding what the hell's going on with me.
oh. So it's like
Out of guilt.
that's guilt. No, I
Out of guilt. Self-compassion, practice kindness. Yeah,
Self-compassion. I think
yeah,
understanding, self-compassion, reflection,
right.
looking at the
Reframe,
things. Yeah,
reframing negative thoughts,
yeah,
challenge negative self-talk and reframe thoughts in a more positive. We talked about that. So
yes,
we can feel guilty for not mentioning.
yes.
Make amends, if possible.
Mm,
Make amends. And sometimes if we do not want to connect with that person or whoever, whatever the story was, or you can't, I learned something very magical from the shamanism.
okay.
Can write it down in a
Yes.
leaf
In a
or a
leaf.
piece of, yeah, in a leaf. And
Oh,
put it in a stream of water and see the leaf go
oh,
away.
that's
Is
beautiful.
is poetry. I like
That's
that.
lovely. Yeah, I've never heard of it in a leaf before. But I
Yeah,
was told, like, by my teacher when I was learning all my spiritual stuff and my hypnotherapy, that even if it isn't an action, even if it isn't a physical action, the energy of something that you do still exists.
yeah,
So by doing that, you're not necessarily connecting with the person, but energetically you are. You're
yeah.
making amends, right?
Right. Because it's like holding a coal, hot coal,
Yeah.
expecting it to throw it to somebody else, you're going to burn yourself. And
Yeah.
holding resentment is fully, fully guilt for you, for
Yeah.
me, for anybody. And also, not letting go is heavy. So I have done too, and I learned that in England actually with my girlfriend Duenia. She was married to Robin Gibb. He's gone now. To write it down and to burn it.
Hmm.
And Deepak writes it down and he flashes it down the toilet.
Okay.
You can write it down, she told me, and you can mail that letter without
Okay.
a return address
Yeah. It's kind of like
and just mail it.
Alcoholics Anonymous. Anonymous.
Tapacatito.
Them. They do that in one of the steps, right? It's like
Yeah,
making amends. I'm not
yeah,
sure which step it is. I remember doing that when I quit drinking. I reached out to a bunch of people and just said, "This is where I was. This is my state of mind, and I am truly sorry for the actions or the anything that I caused, you know."
right.
Made me
Or
feel
I
so
forgive
much
you
better. Yeah, or I
for
forgive you.
being a rag of poo.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of rag of poos. I forgive you. I la da da. Even if you don't give it to them, you can mail it with
Yeah,
no return address or no anything. But
yeah,
it's out of
exactly.
your hands. It's
Thank
out of your, and forgiveness, and start forgiveness with you. I forgive myself for bashing myself with guilt. I
Yeah.
forgive myself because I didn't know any better at the moment. I return to my nature of divine child, right? Or whatever you want to say to yourself.
Hmm.
I give permission to yourself to enjoy life, to be happy, and to be able to, excel without having to bash yourself. And because we make decisions out of guilt
Hmm.
that they're not always clear.
Yeah, that's true.
We run away from the feeling of the condemnation. So we either retrieve completely, we do something that is self punishment, like alcohol, overeating, over sugaring, or, creating something that we can check out.
Like a
We
form of punishment.
destroy relationships because, in case they're thinking about what we guilt ourselves about.
Hmm.
Most of the time, these people had no clue,
Mm.
but we anticipated that, oh, yeah, they know what I did when I was 10.
Yeah, yeah,
They know it.
yeah,
And they definitely don't like me.
yeah,
We anticipate those. Hmm?
yeah.
And it's stuff that happens, we learn and grow.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I think that's the only way around dealing with our own guilt is to face it, to look at it, to find some kind of forgiveness or acceptance or acknowledgement or compassion, all of the things that you've just said, you know?
And ask ourselves,
Yeah.
What is guilt for us? If
Yeah.
we start there, if we start there, what is guilt? Wow, it's self story or whatever you want to come up with.
Yeah.
Or where we, so do we want to honor it? Or we want to recreate something that feels better, serves better? And that's what Cory and I can do with you all.
Mm-hmm.
We can assist you to transform these places, to do it easily, to have, because the subconscious mind, that's another difference between real and non-real.
Mm-hmm.
And we have these techniques and the time to listen and to create rapport and to empower you to just release the guilt and
Let it
transform
go.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So just, we really, we're going to do a class with Cory too, but you guys are going to have all our links and you
Yeah,
can
I'm gonna
connect with us.
all the links to everything in the information down below the video. So just check that out. Please, like Isabel said at the beginning, like and subscribe and
Yeah.
turn the bell on because that helps us
Yeah.
grow.
And what do you get today? What do you get? Because when I redid all the research for today, and I have done this before, I discovered many different parts of it that I have forgotten about it.
Yeah,
And that I'm like, oh, okay, that comes from that.
yeah,
And I have done that because of that.
yeah.
And it's so empowering to get yourself things back.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments, like if there's anything that we talked about today, if it resonates with you, like,
Yeah.
how guilt maybe is showing up in your life
Hmm.
subconsciously and you didn't even realize it was based in guilt.
Right. Or if you never had guilt,
Good for
pass
you.
it on.
Yeah, how do you do it?
What's the formula? Because we can use it for many people. So we
Is it
would really appreciate it. Because no matter what, 'cause I'm not going to feel guilty if I miss something.
no, no, right?
Hell no. We love you. We care for you. We
Mhm.
are here to give
Some
back to the
relaxing.
planet.
We have some wonderful new guests lined up as well. So keep yourselves in the hot seat with us, please, because yeah,
Yeah.
we've got some good ones coming up, haven't we?
We do it with so much love and care
Yeah.
and no guilt.
No guilt. Bye, sweetheart.